Good morning to you. Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. All right, you guys. I got a lot of stories today. I was trying to put them in order, but okay, we'll just how I have them in my notes. First story up, you guys. Let's talk about the shooting here in Atlanta that occurred. What day was that? I believe that was Monday. Somewhere around 2 o'clock, it came across my TV screen that there was an active live shooter that was on the run, that someone had gone into a management office at a high-rise condominium building in Midtown Atlanta and shot. Well, the details were sketchy at the time, but what they were saying was that 3 people were shot. One person, one had died originally, then they upgraded it to 2 people had died. One was seriously injured, and they were looking for this gunman. They had the city shut down in that area. People that were there couldn't get out. People that needed to come in couldn't get in. They told everybody to stay in their homes, stay in the businesses. Don't, you just couldn't do anything in that area. This was on Peachtree and 14th, I believe it was. And pretty much the city was, they were on the hunt for this gunman. A few hours later, not even a few hours, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours later, we were told that they did find the gunman. It was actually a woman, and her name is Raisa Kenye, okay, 34 years old. Apparently, Miss Kenye was upset with the people that she shot. This was targeted, so it wasn't random, just wasn't somebody who had just, flown off the handle and decided to just go shoot some people. She actually knew these people, actually had a lawsuit against the company that these people worked for, and she meant to go and shoot the people that she did. They didn't really have a hard time identifying who the person was, even though they weren't saying on the news who it was. They were talking to a lot of the neighbors that had come down or that were already outside of the building that couldn't get in, or whatever the case was, and a lot of them were saying, like, we know who she is. Yes, we know, we're aware who it is. But they weren't releasing a name originally. So they knew who she was. It was just a matter of locating where she was. Turns out that she actually had hailed a cab and rode to Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport here in Atlanta, and she was arrested in the South Terminal baggage claim area. Okay, she had her bags packed. She was about to get the fuck on a plane and go somewhere. Now, they were able to locate her ultimately because of the different surveillance cameras within the city. They basically tracked her on the cameras throughout the city until they figured out that she was, I'm assuming, heading to the airport. And they did, like I said, they were able to get her there and arrest her there. The story is real convoluted. Like I said, she had a lawsuit against the condominium that she lived in, the business that she used to work for, some 600-page lawsuit that she had filed against Georgia Power. I'm not going to get into the details of it. Something with some fraudulent things going on, securities, and all of these claims that she had. But and apparently the 2 gentlemen that she killed, one is, Wesley Freeman, 41 years old, and Michael Shinners, 60 years old. Okay, then there was a third person, Michael Horn. He's 68 years old. He is in the ICU. He is expected to recover, but they said that he has numerous surgeries ahead of him. It's not going to be an easy or fast recovery. They also say that she shot at a fourth person on the street, but that person did not get injured. That person didn't get hit. So I don't know. It seems like it was a very calculated effort in, who she was going to shoot. I actually saw in the news yesterday when she got into the taxi. Apparently, this person that picked her up in the cab she was a regular customer of. I was like, people still ride in taxis, like, But I think she's like either Ethiopian or Indian. I'm not quite sure what her nationality is, but maybe it's the community that she's from that still rides taxis. A lot of the Ethiopian people still drive the taxis. They're the ones that drive the taxis. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But when she got into the taxi, I guess the taxi company had reached out to the guy that was driving and said, listen, you need to keep this, don't react or anything, but do you have a woman in the backseat of your car that's wearing a striped sweater, and they basically described who she was, somehow give us a signal that you have this woman in the car with you. And I'm assuming that that's what he did, but he did mention something to the girl, like, is everything okay? Or am I okay? Are we good? And she said, yeah, you're good. Okay. Like, as if like, I'm not going to shoot you. I already know who I wanted to get. But anyway, like I said, she was taken to the airport and there she was arrested. And when she was caught there at the airport, she actually had the gun with her. I don't know how she thought she was going to get on a plane with a gun. I'm assuming maybe she was going to dump it at the airport. Hadn't had the chance. I'm not sure why she even had it with her at that point. But when you see the videos of her, at no point does she look like she's frantic. Does she look like she's panicking? Does she look like her expression looked like she knew what she was doing. She wanted to do it. And she was about to leave town. But anyway, you guys, she was charged with 2 counts of murder, 3 counts of aggravated assault, 2 counts of false imprisonment, 2 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of or attempting the commission of a crime. And when she went to court, and again, that expression, didn't look afraid. Actually, she looked kind of annoyed with this whole process. Of course, they had her on the Zoom because the courts are still not 100% fully open like they had been in the past before pandemic. And she just looked like she was over this whole thing, kind of crossed legs, kind of like, just looked really impatient with the process, got into an argument with the judge to the point where the judge was like, you have the right to remain silent, and I advise you to do that. So it's going to be interesting what more comes out about this story, whether or not she was, had she been pushed over the edge because she had been treated wrong in her condo or in her, where she worked, or if this was somebody that had just become unhinged and didn't have any other conflict resolution than the way that she handled this. Now, of course, there also is a video that surfaced of her who, when she had called the police and had accused some people in the building, I'm assuming, maybe I shouldn't, but it's natural to assume that the people that she shot, she assumed that they were behind someone breaking into her home, going into her safe, and stealing some items out of her safe that was pertinent to the case that she was suing the people about. So she had called the police, and the police was dismissive, and the police was not really listening to her, and she was saying how they broke into the house, they took the stuff. She knew because it was one of her flash drives had fallen on the ground, and so she knew that somebody had stolen the things that were in there. I mean, obviously they're not there anymore. The police are saying that they didn't have any proof of a break-in, so they couldn't classify it on the police report as a robbery. And she was saying that, yes, of course it's not a break-in because it's the condo. The people have all the keys to all the units here, so they were able to get in here without breaking, without breaking in, breaking jams and locks and kicking in the door or anything like that. And that's why that you don't see any of that. So the police was just kind of trying to tell her, you can reach out to this other department, talk to another detective or a different division, and maybe they can change the charges here, or what we put on this report or whatever. But anyway, she was frustrated with the cop. The cop was dismissive, but like I said, we don't know the full story. If this woman had a past with law enforcement, something tells me that she is not the she speaks her mind and she is very vocal. They did interview one of the people that lived in the building, and she said how nice this Miss Kenya was to her, helped her with her computer and all that. But she did mention that a lot of people that lived in the apartment building did not like her, that she would do things such as, they had a TV room, and I guess in the area, in the public area of the condo, people would go down there in the evenings, watch the game, and she would come in there and cut the TV off. She would do things like that. And a lot of people did not like her. She was running for HOA, apparently. She wanted to be on the board, so that's why a lot of people knew who she was. So yeah, there's a lot more to the story. I'm feeling like there's more going to come out. She had been living in that building for about 5 years. So like I said, a lot of people knew who she was. And yeah, you guys, but tragic, the men that were killed, and the one that is recovering. They did have a vigil for them the other night at the location, and all of the residents, for the most part, said what great people they were. It's just always tragic when something like this happens and a person's life is ended over something that, you feel like, gosh, it couldn't have been no other way to resolve this. But I'm just gonna wait and see what happens more with this story, because like I said, sis girl was not, at no time did she look upset, frantic. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, she had a look of determination on her face, and so we'll see. But there will probably be way more to that story. In the meantime, rest in peace to the people who lost their lives, their families, their friends, that community. That condominium. I'm sure things is going to be a little strange around there until things get back to normal. And when I know more about the case, then I will let you know. All right, you guys, next story up. Let's talk about the Real Housewives franchise. First, let's start off with the story about Nene Leakes dropping her lawsuit against Bravo, against NBC Universal, against Andy Cohen. Remember, she had a lawsuit filed that she was saying that she was racially discriminated against when she worked there as a Real Housewife of Atlanta. And so she brought about this huge case, and everybody was like, okay, Nene is about to get paid. She's about to let everybody know about the ills of the Bravo network and all that. I always was confused, because it was just like, she said that she was racially discriminated against for years and years. She stayed there for years and years. She wanted to come back to the show when she left. She did come back, and then when she left again, even in the midst of her, before she filed the lawsuit, she said that she would actually come back to the show because she felt like she had some unfinished business. When they had announced the 14th season cast, and she saw that Marlo was becoming a housewife, and they were bringing Sheree back. She said her and Sheree had some things that they needed to discuss. Cynthia was leaving the show, which meant that, I guess Nene felt like she could actually be back on the show. And they was just like, hell, fuck nah, bitch. And, that's when finally, I think when she realized that the doors are definitely closed, that she ended up filing the lawsuit. And like I said, everybody was like, all right, Nene, get your money, get your funds, all of that. Well, fast forward to the other day, and we find that she has dropped the lawsuit. Okay. And it was dropped in court officially without prejudice, which usually means that the person that originally filed the case can go back and refile the case if they want to, if they change their minds. And that also means that they can, also request whatever monetary compensation for their troubles in that lawsuit as well. Okay, so it's a clean cut. I'm not sure what made Nene drop the case. People are saying all kinds of things out there. One of the biggest rumors that I have been hearing and that people have been leaving in my comments is that she was offered $20 million from Bravo to drop the case, which is, in my opinion, I don't believe that that is what happened. First of all, $20 million is a whole bunch of fucking money, okay? Secondly, $20 million, if we knew that we was going to have to pay you $20 million, then I might as well go to court, all right? I might as well try this whole thing in court and see if I can come out and pay less, And thirdly, that's why this whole thing is without prejudice, which means that you can come back and refile. If I pay you $20 million and then you can also go back and refile the case to get more money out of me, like that doesn't make sense. So I don't believe that she was paid anywhere near $20 million. I don't even think that she was paid at all. I think that, in my opinion, ultimately, that she did not have a case. There was no way that she was able to prove it. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, okay? But there's nothing that was documented on paper or any way that she could prove the story of the things that she said when she said she was racially discriminated against. So although it may or may not have happened, she won't be able to. I mean, she decided to just let the whole thing go, okay? And so I that's really just kind of it for me. But if they did pay her off, and if people were able to get any proof of that, I don't know how you would get proof of that, because I don't see Nene putting her business out there like that. And Bravo definitely is not going to have any comment on any of the things that happened, any of the proceedings that happened with that case. So, I mean, it'll just be out there and in the air and in the wind like everything else when it comes to the Real Housewives franchises. Just so much gossip and chatter about the shows all the time, okay? One of the other rumors that I've heard is that they offered $5 million to Porsha to come back to the show. Now, I do believe that Porsha will be back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's been keeping a pretty low profile, or maybe she hasn't, but I think maybe she has. After she had her show and that didn't go over all that well, she kind of just laid back, went to go into to living her life. I'm assuming that she and Simon are still together. I don't follow her anymore because Roxanne had to just draw the line right there. But I'm assuming that Portia's living her life and happy with her fiance and all of that. Now that it's died down, I think that she's probably ready to come back to the show, because where else do we see Porsha now? We don't see her on DirecTV, on Dish Network. We don't see her on, is that the name of the damn show? Dish? I think it's Dish, or is that the cable company? But you guys know what I mean. Like, she's not on Ricky Smiley's show no more. She's not on Dish anymore. She's not on Real Housewives. She doesn't have her little spin-off show anymore. It's just sort of like, okay, we need to be able to see Porsha, so maybe, not maybe, I do believe that she's going back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'll give it maybe next season or maybe the season after that, but I feel like she'll probably be back this next season. $5 million though, I think that they are going to give her the same type of contract that they've given all the rest of the girls on the show. Everybody on that show at this point is a superstar. It's like Kenya is a star, Candy is a star, Porsha would be considered the same type of star as them, so she's going to get the same kind of treatment as everybody else. Those huge ass contracts that they used to do back in the day, those are no more. Okay, the show doesn't even pull in that kind of viewership that they used to back in the days when they were granting those huge ass contracts. So I don't see that really being the truth, being the case with Porsha. But do I believe she's coming back? Yes, I do definitely 100% believe that she is coming back. Okay, 5 million. But if you know better, and if you got some inside scoop on something, y'all have to let me know. But that's kind of how I feel about that. And then next, you guys, let's talk about Garcelle Bouvet and the drama that she has faced on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, you guys know I don't watch that show. I don't know the characters on that show. I don't know the people on that show. I couldn't tell you nothing about nobody, okay? I do know that Garcelle is the only regular Black cast member on that show, and I know that Garcelle has had her issues with the viewers and with the cast itself, with all of the different things that come with being this one Black woman around a whole bunch of extremely rich white women, and how that dynamic would play out. So, I mean, I'm up on what Garcelle Bouvet faces, but I don't know the ins and outs of what happens over there. Now, apparently one of the her co-cast members, what's the lady's name? Hold on. Well, apparently Garcelle has issues with 3 cast members on the show: Lisa Rinna, Erica Jane, and Diana Jenkins. Okay, and I guess the drama that has come from the show has spilled over into Garcelle's regular real life outside of the show, and the fans that watch the show have come for her children. She has a 14-year-old son by the name of Jax, from what I understand, and she has an older son that apparently has struggled with drugs in the past, whatever. The viewers have now decided to come after Garcelle's children because of the comments that I'm assuming that she's had with one of those 3 cast members that I told you about on the show. Okay, and it's always very sickening when people turn to the children. It's bad enough that they're talking about her grown child who's had drug problems in the past, but when you start coming after a child who is not even an adult, this is a 14-year-old kid, and you're talking about this child and attacking this child in social media, in the comment sections, yeah, I mean, that's never cool. That's never cool. But the reality is once you open your life up to these reality shows, then unfortunately so, a lot of people out there do not care. Like, they feel like everything is open season, once you go on a reality show. And that is something that you have to be aware of. I don't think that Garcelle even realized that going on this show, with all of the other things that she's going to have to face being on the show, that she didn't even probably think that her children would get pulled into it. But I feel like, when you do go on a reality show, that you have to realize that it could be open to anybody. I mean, anybody really in your family, anybody that's in your reach. If the viewers get a hold of that person or find out their story, because, they found out about the son's drug problems. I don't know if she spoke about it on the show or if they just went and did their regular research. But, they were on Garcelle like, you so busy worrying about so-and-so's drug problem on the show. Shouldn't you be worried about your son, or, what your son is over there, what his drug intake is, or something like that, Like I said, I don't watch the show, so I don't know the particulars, but I will say that it is really terrible that they're coming after her children, okay? But it is not surprising. It's not surprising. If you are used to watching reality shows, then you would know that people, once they have a bone to pick or an axe to grind, they will go wherever they need to go. And it's easy because you're on social media, so nobody really, social media doesn't have a face. So you can be keyboard banging, okay, and you could be saying all kind of shit that you wouldn't say to a person to their face, but because we're on social media anyway, you can just create all of these fake accounts, or they have these bot accounts that just can say and do whatever and harass the person. You know, Garcelle said that she's been in this business for many years, so she's fine with the things that, you know, when people come after her, but when they come after her children, then that does hurt her. You know, and the viewers know that. Everybody knows that. Nobody wants their children to be talked about. So, of course, that does hurt you. And that's why the people that do it, because they know that that's one way that they can really get to you. But it is sickening. Okay, Bravo finally did come out after the little boy, the 14-year-old Jax, after he posted what he'd said, because he came out and said that he didn't ask to be on this show. He's not on the show. I mean, he just happened to be on an episode where one of the ladies had told him to get the fuck out or something, you know, and so that's kind of how he came into this whole spotlight. But he was saying, like, it's my first week at school, in high school. I thought I would be enjoying my life as a high schooler now, not having to worry about trolls and people saying things about me in social media. Like, that's not how he wants to live his life, you know, and he shouldn't have to live that way. After he put out his statement, then Bravo did put out a statement saying that they don't tolerate that kind of activity at their network. And I'm assuming that they are going to handle those 3 people, even though it is not their fault per se. Okay, they're not telling their fans to go and troll Garcelle and her people. The fact that they know and may even be co-signing, liking comments and things that people are saying when it comes to Garcelle and her kids, then they are involved in some kind of way. And so Bravo needs to do something about that, because this is a work environment, okay? And yeah, all of that shit that happens outside of the show is one thing, but if we're on this show and we've got these women on here who are okay with trolling a fucking 14-year-old kid, then there's something that we need to do about that. So Bravo is going to have to take care of that, because Garcelle could actually have a lawsuit if she wanted to, you know? So, no, it's not cool. And I'm hoping that it does get handled, because, you know, the kid shouldn't have to go through that, you guys. So, but that's it. That's it on Real Housewives. It's always something with Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm ready for that damn show, Real Housewives of Atlanta, to be done. They haven't even announced when Real Housewives of Potomac is coming back. I haven't seen any of the commercials, but as we get closer to the finale for Real Housewives, because I think we only have 15, 16, 17, I think we only have 4 episodes left before the show is done. You know, before we get to the reunion. So, but anyway, that's what's happening with all the Real Housewives. Let's get to the next. All right, you guys, congratulations are in order to our girl, Nicki Minaj, who is going to be awarded the 2022 Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award at the MTV Music Awards. That's coming up this Sunday. Okay, is Real Housewives of Atlanta coming? I know they probably won't skip an episode for MTV Awards, but congratulations to Nicki Minaj. She is a 17-time MTV Awards nominee. She is a 5-time winner of the VMA Award. And this year, she actually is nominated for Best Hip Hop Artist. So Nicki's presence is being made there at the MTV Awards once again. She definitely has long time staying power. And with the success of her new song, I think it's called Super Freak. What's it called? Super Freaky Girl. It's the song that has the Rick James Super Freak sample in it. She actually has hit her #1 spot, you guys. Knocked Beyonce's You Won't Break My Soul. Knocked that right on out the #1 spot. And, you know, hey, Nicki is still out there. Nicki is still doing what she does, okay? Those who have received the VMA Video Vanguard Award in the past. Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, Kanye West, Rihanna, Pink, Jennifer Lopez, Missy Elliott. And now we can add Nicki Minaj to that list. Now, these are big time names, okay? Heavy hitters and people who actually do deserve the award, the title. So good for her. How you guys like that Super Freaky Girl song? I haven't listened to it all the way through. I've only heard what I've heard really on social media. But it reminds me of old Nicki Minaj, like kind of when she was gimmicky. It kind of reminds me of that style of rap that she had. And it's, you know, Nicki always does well. Nicki always does well. So good for her. And hopefully she does win Best Hip Hop Artist. I don't know who the other people are that are nominated against her, but, you know, it's always good to see, you know, Nicki still, you know, like I said, with that staying power, being able to be nominated. I mean, she's been in the game for a long time now. So good for Nicki Minaj, giving her flowers, okay? Y'all let me know what you think about Super Freaky Girl. Is that your jam? All right, you guys, next story up. So, I mean, I guess I'm supposed to tell our president, Mr. Joe Biden, thank you for the Biden administration's student loan debt plan. Okay, now you guys know that when Joe Biden was running for president, one of the big topics, the big ticket items, I will call it, on his campaign to presidency was that if he was nominated, that he would get rid of student loan debt. This country has a $3 trillion, is that what they said? $3 trillion in student loan debt. So many people have huge student loan balances and have been struggling to make the payments, or maybe they're not even struggling to make the payments. It's just that the damn student loan is there. And I mean, granted, when you get a student loan, you realize that this is money that you have to pay back. I mean, I think we all got that part clear, okay? But when Joe Biden promised that he would get rid of student loan debt, even though I knew that that was too big of a ticket item to really make happen, I still was just sort of like, okay, let's see if Joe is really going to be able to pull this off. Okay, so I was 100% with it. You know, I don't care about the people that done paid off their damn student loans in the past. That's good for you. That's good that you was able to do that. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you what, if I knew that I could get rid of my huge student loan balance, then damn it, give it to me. Okay, so we've been getting strung along for the whole time that we've been on this pandemic. They stopped. They told us that we didn't have to pay. We didn't have to make student loan payments while the pandemic was going. They kept on pushing off the restart of the payments. You know, they'll push it off a few months. Now we done got to 2 years that we still haven't really paid student loan. We haven't had to pay student loans. You can still pay if you want to, but we haven't had to, and they haven't been accumulating interest or anything. They're just still sitting. Well, now that we got the official plan, I'm going to tell you guys what it is. Okay. So the forgiving the debt part, $20,000 forgiven from your student loans if you went to college on Pell Grants. Okay. $10,000 if you didn't receive a Pell Grant. Now, the forgiveness only applies to those earning less than $125,000 individually, or $250,000 if you had joint taxes with a spouse or partner. And also, just as a last little, you know, something for you, they have student loan pause extended one final time through December 31st, 2022. Okay. They also have payment based on income. If you have undergraduate loans, you can cap repayment at 5% of your monthly income. Okay. So, I mean, you know what? Those are like, I'm not going to complain. Go on and give me this little whatever, $10,000-$20,000. I have a large student loan because I got my master's. And so, yeah, I mean, I do have a student loan balance, and I'm going to pay it, you know. that little money that y'all talk about is just really just going to take care of maybe the interest for me. Like, I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, I'm not going to complain about it because really you can just give nothing. But the whole thing is, you said you was going to get rid of the shit altogether. Okay? So why you ain't doing that? Even though I knew you weren't going to do that. But still, you know, so this is our time to just be like, oh, this is some bullshit. We can complain because we voted you in. And even though, you know, if I was going to keep it 100 with you guys, I voted for Joe Biden because I didn't want WISAP to win, period. I didn't give a fuck who was on the other side. That's who was going to get my vote because I was over and done with WISAP. So honestly, I didn't give a fuck what Joe Biden was going to do as long as I didn't have to deal with WISAP. Because if I was still going to keep it 100% with you, my life don't really change depending on whoever is in the fucking office. I mean, it does in certain ways, but for the most part, life was going to go on with whoever was in there. But again, I still couldn't deal. I just didn't even want to look at WISAP again. That's why I hope they put his motherfucking ass in jail, because he deserves to go to jail with his whole child. Don't even get me started on that. But but taking myself out of the equation, I know that this is a good start. That's what some people are saying. I don't know if it's just the start or if this is it. Like, who said that there was going to be more to come? But this is going to help people who don't have huge loan balances. Okay, so I think that this still can help a good amount of people. But for those of us who have, like, you know, big loans, then it's just sort of like, I mean, okay. I mean, fuck, I'm going to pay my bills. I got bills. I got to pay them, right? So it's just whatever it is, but still. But you guys let me know what you think about it. You know, I'm still going to say those who are upset that they've paid off their bills and feel, you know, a way about other people getting a break. I just feel like you're haters. Like, if I had already paid off my bill, I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, okay, I mean, I just missed the wave. I just missed that ride, okay? But, you know, shout out to all the other people that's getting the help that they need. Like, damn, it's a lot of things that the government do for people that I'm not, you know, that I don't get to qualify for. But if the other people need the help, then fucking give them the help, okay? That's what we got the government for. That's why we put people in office, to help the people that need the fucking help. So I'm with it. Like, come on, you know, but we'll see. I didn't never think that my shit was going. There are other programs that, you know, do forgive like your whole full loan. One of them I am familiar with is if you've been paying on your student loan for 10 years, you know, and you've been paying regularly, then does it have a clause that you have to work for the government? I might be getting two things mixed up, because I do know that they do also have a program for people that were teachers, people that work in public service, like police officers and fire department and things like that, that they do have a program where they would also eliminate your student loan. Excuse me. But I think that the people that have been paying on their loan for 10 years, I'm not sure if it has anything to do with working for the government or not. I feel like it does, but that might be incorrect. But if you had been paying for 10 years, then that also, you might be able to qualify for just getting canceling the rest of your student loan debt. Okay. So there definitely are other programs that you can look into that will help. But, you know, just wiping away the whole thing clean, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. But not surprising. But you guys let me know what you think about it. Were you upset that you weren't able to get rid of your whole loan, or did you already know that that's what it was gonna be? All right, you guys, next story. This one actually is a feel-good story. I always call this girl Bhad Bhabie, but it's not Bhad Bhabie, it's Bhad Bhabie. I know you guys are probably like, Roxanne's fucking old and just be messing up names and shit. I don't know why my eye always sees an R in there, but anyway, Bhad Bhabie. You guys know the girl Catch Me Outside from Uncle Phil. The Dr. Phil show went viral, big sensation, all of that. Remember, we just found out earlier this year how she had made millions of dollars on OnlyFans. And remember, people didn't believe that. And she came with the fucking receipts and showed everybody like her OnlyFans analytics, and how in 2 years since the pandemic, she made millions of dollars. Okay. Well, it seems that Bhad Bhabie I'm sorry, Bhad Bhabie. Mama named her Danielle Peskowitz Brigoli. It seems that she is using some of her money, actually $1.7 million of her money, to create a scholarship. It's called the Bhad Bhabie Scholarship. Let me get back to my notes. I'm going by memory. It's called the Bhad Scholarship. Okay. And basically she is giving $1,000 scholarship to people who want to go to a trade or technical college, you know, people who want to learn a trade, a skill. She's giving them $1,000 scholarship. This is a nationwide scholarship, so anybody that's within the United States can apply for it. I think that is awesome. Like, I think that's great. I'm sure that she has advisors that probably told her that she needs to start making some donations, and so that she can have some tax write-offs. And, you know, once you start making certain types of money, then you're going to have to realize that you've got to do things with your money if you don't want to get heavily taxed from the government and all of that. So, but I still think that this is a great way for her to be involved and help some people. So, I mean, I think that's great. You know, she did say that on the blogs. I didn't really see it, but maybe on one or two blogs. But she was complaining that, you know, she always makes the blogs when she's done something like crazy or off the wall or bad, but nobody ever talks about the good things that she does. I don't know any of the other good things that she does, okay? I'm not saying that she don't do it, but I just don't know about it. But I did read this and I was like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this. Not only is she given that, but she is also going to award $10,000 to 50 of the people that graduate from the technical college that came in on her scholarship. She's going to award 50 of those people a $10,000 startup money for their business. Okay, she's going to handpick those people. You know, I guess maybe going by their grades or how well they do in school or whatever. That's coming from a separate $200,000 fund. Okay, so basically she looked like she's giving somewhere around $2 million of her money to help those that are trying to make something of their lives who don't go to traditional college, okay, regular university, four-year college. And she said that she's done this because she was inspired. You know, if her life hadn't taken the path that it had taken, that she would have gone to cosmetology school. She wanted to be a nail tech. And so she just feels like she has a special connection with the working force and people who want to make an honest living from, you know, a trade. So, I mean, I think that's great. So good for her. We don't hear the good things about her. And so I just wanted to give old girl, you know, give her her props for trying to help some of the people out. Okay. Y'all interested? Bhad Scholarship. I was about to say Bhad Barbie. Bhad Bhabie. Well, it's just Bhad Scholarship. I'm sure you guys can look it up and see if you could apply.